If you're looking for a high-energy, action-packed anime movie filled with intense sword fights, then you would love Sword of the Stranger. This is a movie set within the Warring States period of Japan, with this Chinese army that goes to Japan in search for this young boy who they believe to have sacred blood so that they can find him and sacrifice him. One day, a mysterious, nameless samurai wanders into this rundown temple as he's traveling and bumps into this orphan boy Karu, who's actually the target of this Chinese army, and after defending him against them, he becomes his bodyguard, and that's when their journey begins. I'm not gonna lie to you, Sword of the Stranger features some of the best sword fights that you could find in anime movies, and will quickly become one of those go-to movies when you're just trying to relax by yourself or with your friends, eating some nachos and popcorn, craving that action. You're gonna love this movie, but it definitely does have its weak points, namely the plot, which is pretty weak. It's very simplistic. It's this army going to Japan, and they're trying to take a boy and sacrifice him, and you have this nameless warrior, this mysterious, who's trying to save him, and that's pretty much the plot. There are a lot of characters in this movie, and a lot of plot points here that do not need to exist within this movie. They take their story far more seriously than they should. It's an hour and 45 minutes long, roughly, and if they were to shave this down to an hour 20, then that would be great. It would be a huge improvement. Comparing Sword of the Stranger, which is one of my favorite action anime movies, comparing this to Ninja Scroll, which is another one of my favorite action anime movies, you see, Ninja Scroll is a bit shorter, it doesn't take his story as seriously, and I would say that it's actually a lot more enjoyable, even though that they are completely different types of movies. Ninja Scroll is more of a fantasy movie, where this is more historical, where the fights are actually more realistic, despite the fact that they do exaggerate a lot of the moves. Now, despite the fact that I said this movie has a pretty weak plot, it actually has pretty strong characters. Your wandering, nameless samurai, you learn a bit more about him as you continue watching the movie, and he has a lot of bonding with a young boy Karu. They'll stay together and they'll just nag at each other and be very rude with each other, but you can tell they're just playing. You can tell that they actually start to grow on each other as they grow on you as well. There's also this mercenary-like character that's with the Chinese army that you can tell that he's not actually Chinese, but he speaks both Chinese and Japanese. He's got the blonde hair and the blue eyes, and I would just slaughter his name if I tried and pronounce it, so I'm not even going to go there, but he's also a really good character as well. I really liked him, and I wish that they had shown more from his perspective. He's also mysterious because you don't know what he's going to do. You expect him to be this cold-hearted warrior, but there's actually a bit more to his character there as well, so I wish that they would have taken more of that time that they spent on characters that didn't really mean as much to the plot and used that time to develop him, because he was actually a very good character. Sword of the Stranger came out in 2007, produced by Studio Bones, so it really lives up to every bit of the beautiful animation you would expect from something made by Studio Bones. I really loved, aside from how the fights were animated so beautifully, the backgrounds were lovely. I really loved the fact that they added the seasons here where it's snowing and you have these Japanese villages and everything is just so beautiful. I love the attention to detail with the different outfits, how you have the Chinese warrior outfits and you have the samurai outfits as well, and everything is done so well with such attention to detail that I really loved it. Now, as far as the audio goes with this movie, there's also a great attention to detail here as well. First of all, the music is beautiful. This is something else I'd love to own the soundtrack to, but as far as the voice acting goes, there is no English dub to this, but I wouldn't let that stop you. Now, as far as the voice acting goes, they also paid a lot of attention to detail with that as well, because there's something here that I wish that anything else would do. Anime movies, anime series, or movies, or TV shows, or anything. When you have characters that speak different languages, they speak different languages, and I really love the fact that they did that. The Chinese character spoke Chinese, the Japanese character spoke Japanese, and it worked well. Now, I have to say, the Chinese voice acting wasn't really all that good. It sounded very dry, and it really didn't sound like it had any emotion to it. It sounded like a robot speaking Chinese, basically, but it's there nonetheless, and I really think they did a great job to even add that in there instead of having all of the characters speaking Japanese for no reason, because they're straight from China. They're probably not going to know how to speak Japanese, so they did a great job with that. So overall, I give Sword of the Stranger a solid 8.5. I would love to rate this movie higher, but it's a lot longer than it needs to be, and the plot really isn't that complicated to warrant warrant it being such a long movie, even though it really isn't that long. An hour and 45 minutes isn't that long, but it feels like it's a lot longer because there really isn't that much happening with the story. There are 3 things that this movie does great in this particular order: the animation, the fights, and then the characters, and I definitely recommend Sword of the Stranger 8.5. Let me know what you think about this movie in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and before I go, somebody needs to relicense this. This was licensed by Bandai before Bandai of America closed down in the United States. So somebody else needs to license this. It's on sale on Amazon for like $50 and it's a movie. Funimation, Sentai, somebody needs to pick this up. It doesn't even need to have a dub. It's fine as it is. Just somebody is doing a disservice to this movie by not licensing it. So let me know your thoughts about this movie in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like it, and also share it with your friends. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.